Alright, I got this brake pedal here. It's touching the frame, so I'm going to adjust that out. I have to get the right wrench. Looks like a quarter. Yep, it's a quarter. Anyway, gotta adjust that out. Okay, I'm going to use a brake bleeding vacuum to suck the fluid from the reservoir all the way back here. And then the extra that comes out, or well, whenever it comes out, it'll go into this container here. All right, it's starting to suck some fluid. Took the reservoir off, and I have a little better suction. I hear brake fluid. Got some brake fluid. Not bled, just have brake fluid running through them now. Got brakes on, or got fluid in them. Alright, so got quite a bit of fluid out of this reservoir. I'd say there's about a little less than a quarter in there. So that means the system has fluid in it all the way back. This is going to have to be replaced because of the seam leaking. So since there's still a little fluid in there, I'm going to go ahead and run it through the front of the system now. So that way I don't waste all that, it just goes into the system. And then, hopefully, I'll take an empty reservoir off here to replace it. Alright, heading over to the furthest caliper from the master cylinder, which is this guy here. Let's see what we can do. Oh, we see a leak. I see a leak right there. Thought I heard a leak. Let's see what we got. leaks, but I don't see any. Okay, looks like I had that one brake line leak right here. That was from me just not tightening it up tight enough. Other than that, that's it. We've got pressure all the way around. They're not bled, I just have pressure back there. Or I have pressure to the pedal. There's just a little bit in there still. And I think the more I pump it, the more it'll push it into the system. Oops. It's still sucking it into the system. I'm still looking for leaks. I guess it's just actually filling the system. I've touched everything I can. That's still a little wet on the bottom from that valve. Nothing. So it's still filling the system, I guess. Not much left to suck out of there. I almost forgot, up under here, I have one union, and it's dry. So we're looking good, except for that reservoir. Seam. That sucks. Okay, the brakes aren't bled, but they have fluid all the way to all four corners. As far as the bench bleeding process that Factory 5 refers to, of putting a hose or a tube here and running it through back into the master cylinder, I'm sure that works, otherwise they wouldn't have suggested it, but I'll tell you that vacuum bleeder worked a whole lot better, in my opinion. Got a good forearm workout the whole time. Yeah, it worked out pretty good. Now, I normally work alone, so this is, using that vacuum bleeder is, I think, pretty good for working alone. As far as bleeding the brakes, I don't know how that would work with that, but hopefully I'll have somebody out here like I normally do when I'm doing brakes. And there is still some fluid in there, but not much. So that little bit I'll dump out whenever I contact Factory 5 and let them know about this manufacturer defect part here, and see how that goes. By the way, I did keep hearing something leaking, and I didn't know what it was. It's raining outside, so I could hear the rain against the garage door and the concrete. I'm using the Willwood brake system, but I don't need this extension that they sent me. There's two different mounts on the chassis. This mount is for the brake lines to go to for, I think, 04 and later. And the mount that I'm using is 83 to 97, I think. And my rear end is out of a 91. And I use two different size outlets for this one. So I'm going to take these extensions off, put this back together so it's not so slack. Son of a bitch, that didn't take forever at all. Should be fine just like this. ends up making noise, I'll crawl back under here and see about turning it a couple times for right now. Ooh, that's tight. Damn it. Still got a lot of teeth left too. Try and turn it a few more times. Nice and tight. A little bit of slack. Not that much. I know it's just stretching it out a little bit. I might be able to get a couple more. I'd also have to put something like a rubber cap on this nut. Alright, parking brake is done. Okay, I'm getting ready to mount the dash permanently. Seems like it's higher over here than what it is on the other side. It's supposed to be this low in the center. I think I pretty well got it lined up. I got some Gorilla Tape here just to hold it in place. Now I'm gonna one extra check here. Just slightly off. Well, maybe not. Oh, it's damn near right on. It's off just a slight bit. I don't think enough to worry about it. Now I have to drill 5 holes into this nice dash. So needless to say, I'm a little worried. Once this dash is mounted in here permanently, I can go ahead and start wiring the stuff up in here. So hard to do with one person. Okay, 45.5 inches from end to end. 22.25 is the center. So I'm going to start with the end holes and go to the center hole. Or I may start with the center. Oh, we'll drill some holes. All right, an 1/8 first. Then a 3/16. I gotta remember, I'm not putting an aluminum dash on there, like Factory 5 is saying. Drill the dash mounting screws, 5 evenly spread through the dash and chassis, with 1/8 drill bit, then back through the dash only with a 3/16 bit, and screw the dash to the chassis. I don't need to do that with this because this is plastic. Drill bit's going to go right through that. And push the ends behind the top of the dash door, or behind the door hinge, and screw through the hinge into the dash end. Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming they mean through this hinge area here. There's a hole there. I don't know if that's it or not, but I think I'll do that towards the end for final fitment. All right. Here's the screws. May need to open that up just a little bit so it doesn't twist the vinyl. Not too shabby. Dog keeps licking the tripod. Working with a giant puppy around, it's definitely challenging. They're going out 11 inches. That's it. Looks pretty good. These are the under dash brackets. Just measured and marked one here. I'll cut it now. This will mount to the... Here's a good view of how much space I have with the heater and the glove box. Got quite a bit of space in between there. And this is a stock dash with, you know, with that piece I made there. All right, so this will mount somewhat like this. Probably bring it, oh, right there's where I want it. Without it, you got that movement. With it, before it's riveted down, just wedged in there, that's how much movement you got. So yeah, those come in handy. And there's a spot here within this, not this side, but this side here, you can mount a switch or a cigarette lighter or AC power or whatever you want to call it for an electric blanket for your wife, etc. That's what it's going to be used for mine anyway. Yeah, I'll mount that right there and then put another one down there somewhere. Just got a shifter boot in the mail. I ordered this on eBay. I think it was like $8 or something. It was real cheap. Main reason I ordered it was because this, and most of the boxes I labeled, by the way, when I first got them, just so it makes it easier. When you open a big box, you see all these labels and everything. It makes finding things a little bit easier, because that's one of the problems is as you're building, you're like, okay, I'll never get the nuts and bolts, and then you dig for an hour and find them. So anyway, here's the bezel, and it comes with this rubber, which is nice, but I'm gonna have a lot of simulated leather, vinyl everywhere, not leather. Real leather, I wouldn't spring for that option. That's my personal opinion, because my Harley, I have an actual leather seat, and if you're going to be out running around with this thing, that leather seat, you have to condition it all the time. Otherwise, it's going to get cracked. It's going to look like crap. So I believe vinyl is the way to go. Leather, you have a lot of work to do, a lot of maintenance on it, and it costs more. I don't really see a benefit to it. People say, oh, I love the smell of leather. The only problem is you're in an open top car. It's going to smell good for a few minutes, and then it's gone. Anyway, I think I paid $8 for this shifter boot to replace this boot. Just another one of the little things I'm doing to make it my own, so to speak. This is the boot that came from Factory 5 that goes on the parking brake. It looks like leather, but I don't believe it. This is all simulated stuff. Now this might be a piece. Okay, where Factory 5 wants you to mount the inertia switch, I don't like. It's too low. You can see the wire from all the way up here. I don't like it that low. So I'm gonna move it up. As you can see, I moved it up once. That's not high enough. So I'm gonna mount it up here on top. So I'm making an L bracket to do so. All right, inertia switch is mounted up tight and out of sight. Still reach up there, the button, and the plug. I can always wire tie this back. So, see where it was twice. Moved it all the way up there. Close enough. Looks like a rat's nest in there.